Speaks, the show in which I give my opinions on random topics. I am your host, ThatKidDouglas, aka the Unhero, the internet's loneliest D-list personality. And since it's E3 time, I have a very special video for you today. I'm going to be examining the gaming community and whether I think there's too much negativity in it. This is a video that I've wanted to do for such a long time, and considering that E3 is next week, I figured this would be a perfect time to release this video. So let's get started. So I'm going to be separated into three main points. And, the first point I want to bring up is fanboys. Now, I could do an entire rant on fanboys, and I will be doing an entire rant on fanboys in the near future, so look out for that. But what I will say about fanboys is that, honestly, they have far overstayed their welcome, and honestly, I wouldn't mind if they went the way of the dodo bird. You've seen it, right? You go on to gaming websites, forums, wherever you go to get your daily fix of gaming news or whatever, chances are you've run into them. And I'll be honest, fanboys, regardless of what side they are, consoles and PCs, they're just annoying, and honestly, they need to go away. It essentially boils down to grown men arguing over which piece of plastic is better. It's quite honestly pathetic. And, like an IGN, which I frequent, it's infested with them. I mean, practically almost every gaming site is infested with them. It is really hard these days to have a decent, intelligent conversation about video games when 98% of the comments are drowned out by fanboys arguing about which piece of plastic is better. Oh, my piece of plastic is better than your piece of plastic. It's ridiculous. It's like, it's not even about the games anymore. And it's gotten way too personal and way too out of control. And I remember when I started playing video games and I started, really pursuing it as a hobby, I remember that it was just about the games. And I would really like to get back to that, And it's funny because fanboys spend more time talking about games than playing them. It's quite sad. And I remember back in the day when YouTube was still a relatively new thing, and the concept of fanboys first came to the woodwork. I mean, sure, yeah, there were console wars back in the days of the SNES and Genesis, surely, and even, with an N64 and PlayStation, Sega, you get the point. But it was nowhere near to the extent that it is now. And especially with the PS3, Xbox 360, and Wii era, that's when fanboys really started to come out of the woodwork. But, it was more funny than personal. I mean, you could tell that these guys weren't gamers, people like Geno MLD and El Presador. You could tell that they were just screwing around. They were. They were just pissing people off. They were trolls. They were espousing their love for a platform that they really didn't care about, and they were trolling people for entertainment, and I can't deny it was entertaining. And how? Even with Chad Warden with his PS Trizzle video, that was hilarious. But again, these guys weren't gamers, and they didn't take themselves seriously as that. They were just looking to troll people and have fun. But, 2009 onwards, it really started to become a problem, and now it's just gotten so out of control. And I don't understand it. Like, I'm primarily a PlayStation guy. I love PlayStation. Always have, always will. In fact, Spyro the Dragon was the first video game I ever played back in 1999, and Crash Team Racing was the second. And that was on a PlayStation. But my cousin Joel, who you've seen in quite a few of my videos, he personally prefers the Xbox. Am I going to bash on him because he likes Xbox more than PlayStation? No. No. Does that make him a fanboy because he prefers Xbox? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. He just simply prefers Xbox, and there's nothing wrong with that. He told me that's just what he personally prefers, and I respect him. My best friend Eric, aka Kinraiku, he personally prefers Nintendo. Am I gonna bash him because he personally prefers Nintendo? No, it's because it's dumb, it's stupid. I would not do that. Why? Because that's just what he personally prefers. And these dumbass fanboys seem to think if you personally prefer something that makes you a fanboy. No, it doesn't. Bashing other consoles and arguing over which piece of plastic is better makes you a fanboy. Having a preference does not make you a fanboy. And they get so defensive and so offended if you don't like what they like. It's dumb. Fanboys just have to realize that not everybody is going to like what you like. People will have preferences, and it's okay to have preferences. You just don't have to be a dick about it, you know? And you don't have to threaten people with guns or fists. You don't have to scream at them wondering why they don't like what you like. Just accept it, and it'll be a lot better off. But honestly, fanboys contribute nothing to the gaming community other than making gamers as a whole look bad. And again, I wouldn't shed a tear if they just were gone. And I hope they do. I hope they go away. But I know they won't. Because I just want to have a decent, intelligent conversation about video games, and I know other people want to as well. But that's all I gotta say about fanboys. Moving on. My second point is a lot of the drama-related channels. And I'm not going to call them gaming channels because I think they're insults to gaming. Personally, they're not really gaming channels. Okay, so when you look at channels, for example, like Broken Games HD or The Real Hard 8 Times, would you classify them as gaming channels? I know this is going to be controversial, and I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, but this is just personally my opinion, so please lower the pitchforks. Don't take it personally. I personally find them to be drama-related channels. They're not really gaming channels. I mean, sure, they cover video games, but their opinions on video games, in my opinion, are quite honestly pretty useless, considering the fact that there's thousands of other people that give their opinions on video games. Their opinions, again, are useless and really nothing new. I could get that a lot of other places. But they're mostly known for their drama-related videos. That's what they're mostly known for. They're not known for video games, let's be honest here. I'll give I'll give two examples of this. The first example is when Zaire, aka NextGen720, who, don't get me wrong, is definitely an idiot in his own right, who can't spell to save his life and he's just utterly gross, made up a rumor that Broken Games HD was gay, even though everyone and their mother knew that BG wasn't gay. But for some reason he just had to make a video proclaiming that he wasn't gay and that Zaire was lying, even though everybody knew that he wasn't gay and that Zaire was lying. It serves no purpose other than, I don't know, to retain his masculinity. I mean, and even if he was gay, there would be nothing wrong with that. And really, I think he dropped the ball on that. He didn't need to respond. He was only giving Zaire what he wanted. And what he wanted was attention. And he gave it to him on a silver platter. And even if he was gay, well, I mean, should that matter? As long as you're delivering good content, it shouldn't really matter. At least to me personally. But again, I think that video served no other purpose than really to further escalate the drama. And it's sad that you had grown men fighting over a $12,000 PC and arguing over who was gay and who wasn't. It's ridiculous. And then recently, the Real Hard 8 Times had the nerve to complain that a majority of his subscribers wanted to troll him and make fun of him and all that other shit. But really, it's funny that both Broken Games HD and The Real Hard 8 Times have the nerve to complain, even though they attract those kinds of negative people. When you breed negativity, you attract negativity, because they're mostly known for their drama-related stuff, not the, video game content, certainly. You only brought this upon yourself. I honestly think maybe if you tried to be more positive, or at least tried just focused on gaming and kept it gaming, you wouldn't have these type of problems. But if you have the nerve to complain and say that the majority of subscribers want to troll you and make fun of you, even though you breed those kinds of people with the kinds of videos you make, because they're not gaming channels, because it'd be an insult to video games as a whole if I called you gaming channels. You are drama-related channels. Let's be honest here, right? I mean, so, in my opinion, I don't think you have really the right to complain, and all you're really doing is making gamers look like morons in the process. You make us look like a bunch of immature idiots who argue over the dumbest shit, to boost their own ego. To me, it doesn't personally make any sense. And I mean, while they cover news, I mean, their content is pretty lackluster and subpar, and and Broken Games HD is just really bland and boring and has no personality, and Real Hard 8 Times is just, I'll be honest, a little bit too ratchet and coonish for my taste, but that's just me. And then you have channels like Blackball and Drama Alert, who in my opinion are two of the most useless channels on YouTube. In my opinion, they are completely useless. Black Bond, he bashes Nintendo quite a lot. And what I mean by quite a lot, in pretty much every video he does this. And don't get me wrong, Nintendo has a lot of problems. And I honestly wish they would get their heads out of their asses and join the modern age and, keep up with the times, keep up with the Joneses is basically what I'm saying. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to take them to task for. And you'll see it in my upcoming Digital Joyride video called Nintendo versus the Internet 2. But that's beside the point. Literally, in every video, all this guy does is bash Nintendo. And while that was funny at first, especially with his Wii U Definitively Exposed, where he took a video from Dr.81 saying that the Wii U would have the definitive version of all the third-party games out there. And while Dr.81 was definitely an idiot for that statement, and he definitely should be taken to task for that, you don't really need to tell us 50 million times. My problem with Black Bond in particular is that he's completely a drama-related channel. And that once the initial charm wears off, his videos at first can be funny, but once that initial charm wears off, he's just repetitive and boring. He's the very embodiment of the term, the definition of insanity. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what the definition of insanity is, right? It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting things to change, And, if you've seen one Black Bond video, you've pretty much seen them all. Because all this guy does is bash Nintendo. That's his entire shtick. And he also uses insults like clown, social reject, which aren't really even insults. They're really lame attempts at insults. And he will go so far to troll people and maintain this sort of hate kind of mantra that he has. He went so far as to say that Mr. T, who's a Nintendo-based channel here on YouTube with the Player Essence Network, that he was molesting and sleeping with children. And I did a video on that. I'll leave an annotation above if you want to watch it, where I explain it in greater detail. But yeah, it's just, the content isn't there. And the same with Drama Alert. It's pretty much, reporting on Twitter news from the YouTube gaming community. And while that can be funny, again, same with Black Bond, once the initial charm wears off, it just becomes really repetitive and boring. There's only so many times you can hear what this such and such YouTube gaming personality is saying on Twitter before it just gets old and repetitive and just not worth watching. Some people have called him the Jerry Springer of YouTube, but at least Jerry Springer is entertaining to watch. Drama Alert becomes very boring and very kind of a slog to get through. And these drama-related channels make us as gamers look like morons. They make us look terrible. And gamers already have a bad rap as is. This kind of shit is not helping. And, it makes me embarrassed at times to be a gamer, knowing that these kinds of people are representing the gaming community. And I know they're not representative of the gaming community as a whole. There's some great people in this community. It's just that some of the sour apples make us look bad. But again, I don't acknowledge them as being part of the gaming community. They're more part of the drama community, more or less. They're drama-related channels, not gaming channels. I just want you guys to know that. But moving on to my third and final point, and this is kind of running way over normal time, so I'm going to keep this relatively brief because I have more to say on it in an upcoming video, and that's about gaming journalism and and the whole Gamergate thing. Basically, I'm pretty sure I don't need to tell you what Gamergate is. If you're a gamer, you know what it is. But it's more talking about gaming journalism, and when that scandal broke and that scandal became huge. Gaming websites such as Gama Sutra and Kotaku and Polygon, among numerous others, said that gamers were dead and that gamers were entitled and all this other stuff and misogynistic and assholes and all this other stuff. It was really, really crazy. The fact that they were saying that gamers were dead, even though the gamers are their audience. They're the ones keeping them employed. They're the ones that are paying them. And yet they're saying they are dead. You can imagine that went over as well as you think. And I don't understand why you would say that. Why you would say the audience that you're appealing to that is ensuring that you still have a job and paying you while you would say they were dead. That is incredibly disrespectful, and it really goes to show the modern state of gaming journalism. It sucks. It's just absolutely horrendous, especially Polygon. I honestly can't stand Polygon, and many gamers like myself feel the same way. I mean, and especially Kotaku, they just make clickbait. They're entirely based on clickbait articles because that's the only way people review their shitty websites. I'm sorry, you know? And Polygon just had this recent one on Rock Band 4 where the guy openly admitted that he wasn't into music games and that he didn't care about Rock Band, but he went to cover the event anyway, which doesn't make sense. Which, I mean, if you don't like something, why would you go there to cover it? I mean, it's honest that he was only there for a paycheck and he was only there to make money, obviously. And they don't really even keep it about gaming. It's not really even about gaming anymore. It's about the patriarchy and social justice warriors. And why male gamers are assholes, and why gamers are misogynistic, and why Gamergate is a hate movement, even though there's plenty of women in it. It's just, honestly, it gets to be really demoralizing, and I'll be honest. I kind of stepped away from gaming for a few months because of it, all the negativity that was surrounding it, because I just couldn't take it anymore. There's only so much negativity that you can surround yourself with before, you just start getting bored of it. You just started getting angry, and I had to step away from it. And I moved on to other things, focused on other stuff. And honestly, I do think that game journalism needs to have ethical standards. Every other form of journalism, at least for the most part, has ethical standards. Why can't gaming journalism have ethical standards? And Movie Bob, and I'm pointing directly at you. This is targeted directly towards you. Game journalism does need ethical standards. The only reason you're saying that it doesn't need ethical standards, and why Gamergate and why all of this is a non-issue, is because I bet you're doing some pretty unethical stuff yourself. I mean, why else would you be saying game journalism doesn't need ethical standards? Because it totally frickin' does. But you know what? That's all I gotta say on this particular topic. I mean, I just wanted to go back to being about games because I love video games. I love them with every fiber of my being. Always have and always will. But it needs to go back to being about games, and all this negativity needs to subside. And just we all, no matter who you are, we're all gamers, and it needs to go back to being just about games. All this negativity shit is not helping, and we need to stop supporting people that just make us look like morons, and there definitely needs to be more positivity in gaming. And what I want you to take from this video is that even though, yes, there are a lot of things that make the gaming community a very toxic place to be, there's a lot of positive influences, and there's a lot of people that genuinely are passionate about video games and keep it gaming and don't resort to personal attacks. Don't resort to ad hominems and clickbait, but just people that are honest and true and love video games. And that's all I want. I just want it to be about games, and it needs to go back to being about games. But that's all I gotta say. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the Hero, signing out. Deuces. Stay frosty and keep it weird. Peter Griffin?
So, this is not Reagan?
No, it's Rich Little. He's an impressionist. He's been screwing with your head.
Well, this thing is worthless. Like my Palestinian alarm clock.
Allahu Akbar!